everyone. I'm here to present the business case for B2C sales platform development project. The background of the company is that they have their business goal is to provide the fast, convenient, and reliable sale of electronic goods. The company specializes in the sale of electronic goods such as computers, TV, refrigerators, and so on. But the company realized that they can leverage their competitive advantage by increasing their customer base by developing e-commerce site which can help them to broaden their customer base. Objective of the business objective of this project is thus to ensure that the project supports strategic goal of the companies, which is to leverage their competitive advantage through the reduced operation costs, reduce order processing time, and provide 24/7 availability of the site. The current situation is that the ABC company rely on physical shop to sell their product, but also the trusted customers are able to make their orders using emails and their mobile phones, but also they sell their product using social media, radio, television, and so on. Our critical assumption made and the constraint in this project that the development project should run in ABC current existing infrastructure, the project should bring return on investment, but also the platform should be available to customers 24/7. We have analyzed the project and provided with 4 options, but we as consultants, we recommend option 4, which says design and develop B2C sales platform using Coventry alumni consultants who are very experienced in developing e-commerce site. This will help their internal IT expert to develop their ability to support the infrastructure and the systems after the delivery. The preliminary project requirement is that to ensure that the product provides search and filter option, access to product description and price tag, customer access reviews, access to customer reviews and the product rating, but also linked to secured systems, payments systems. We have estimated the project to run within 1 year, from 18 September 2017 to 2018, the same day. Estimate of the project cost budget to be £50,000, as you can see from here, but you have additional of support costs after the deployment of £10,000. We have estimated some of the few risks of the project. One of them is that inflation, inaccurate cost estimations, scope creep due to changing customer requirement. But all of this, we have put some of the controls to ensure that the project is under control, clear and proper customer involvement, clear project communication, but also to use a standard project management methodology such as PRINCE2 or PMI to ensure all project variables are under control. We have priced the project to ensure that the project is viable to invest. As you can see from here, £50,000 is injected to the project within 5 years. As you can see, the payback period is the 2nd year after the deployment. Since the NPV of the project is positive, this means that the project is worthwhile to invest for ABC company. Stakeholder loss and impact in this project. We have 2 stakeholders. One of them is ABC company management, which they have to ensure that the staff, they choose some of the staff to join the project team, but also ensure users are full involvement to provide customer requirement, but also to finance the project. And in terms of the consultants, they have to deliver a project within time, but also to ensure all customer requirement expectations are met and the project is delivered within time.
For the project management approach, the project will be carried out using PRINCE2 methodology and the Scrum Agile development framework. PRINCE2 can be used in managing any kind of projects, regardless of project scale, organization, or even culture. And the project must always adhere to the principles, and it should not be tailored. The principles are the project has a continued business justification. The project team learns from experiences. Projects and roles and responsibilities are defined. The project is managed by stages. The project is managed by exception. The focus is on the delivery of quality products. And the project management framework is tailored to suit a specific project environment and its characteristics. Additionally, the Prince2 framework consists of 7 themes and processes, and the themes represent areas that a project manager should continuously consider during the project lifecycle. And the themes include business case, organization, quality, plans, risks, change, and progress. The processes, on the other hand, enable stakeholders to direct, manage, and deliver the project successfully. The processes will be talked about in details in the next slide. Scrum is an agile development framework which is mainly used in iterative and incremental software development. The fundamental of the framework is that requirements can be changed during development and the product should be developed iteratively. Scrum defines 3 roles. We have the product owner, which represents the project board and is responsible for defining and prioritizing the product requirements. The Scrum Master, which facilitates meetings and ensures the development team work efficiently. And then the development team, which is responsible for delivering the final product. Here we have the organization and the team member roles. We have the project board for the company, which are responsible for the project outcomes and benefits. The project manager, which is responsible for project delivery. The team manager / scrum master are responsible for delivering the required work packages. And then the development team, comprising of the programmers, designers, and testers. In order to direct, manage, and deliver the project successfully, we are integrating Prince2 and Scrum. The first process, which is starting up a project, the objective is to ensure that the business case is drafted and the project manager is appointed. After this process, the project board will decide whether to initiate the project. Then we have directing the project, which involves decision making by the project board. When the project is authorized to continue, the project manager will prepare strategies for managing risk, quality, configuration, and communication. In the process of initiating the project manager updates the business case and prepares the project plan. In the next process, which is controlling the stage, the project manager assigns work to the development team, monitors the progress, and handles issues relating to the work that has been assigned. In managing the product delivery process, the Scrum framework can replace the process defined by Prince2. The project board then moves the initial requirements from the business case to the product backlog. Then the team manager with the project manager, they establish the first sprint planning event. After the sprint planning event, selected requirements will be transferred to the sprint backlog, which will be described in details by the development team. Then the team starts designing, developing, and testing the product increment, and they will have daily meetings to know what to do next, which will be facilitated by the Scrum Master. When the delivery part of the Scrum is over, the development team will demonstrate the product to the project board in the sprint review meeting, and the project board can decide if the product increment should be released or should be further developed. However, the following process, which is managing a stage boundary, is another process designed mainly for the project board, in which they receive information about the current progress of the project. And after the sprint review, we move on to the last process, which is closing the project, in which the objective is to verify that the final product meets the requirements and is then handed over to the product owner.
Any project will require the use of tools, techniques, and documents that allow the project manager to keep the project on track in terms of the agreed work package. One of these tools is a Gantt chart. The Gantt chart is used for scheduling of tasks and deliverables by a project manager. It will also allow the project manager to assign particular people or skills to each task. This is just used as a method of being able to go back to the project at any point and be able to see where you should be if you've been away, for example, or if we've had different projects running at the same time. It also allows the project manager to see what kind of skills they do have in terms of, as you can see here, it has technical architect, project manager himself, or themselves, the team manager, who also acts as a scrum master, and it also has coders involved. So this just allows a project manager to see where their current project is at. With the project management document tools that I've shown you before, you also need a development lifecycle, so software development lifecycle. In this software development lifecycle, we use a Scrum. There will be a step for requirement analysis, design, development, testing, delivery, and feedback. With this, you also need to have a budget that will allow you to know when you'll have certain skills available to yourselves and how often or how long you'll have those for. That's known as effort. This will all be allowed in the matrix so that we can see how much we may be costing to have these certain skills for the time that we need them to achieve the goal we are looking at. So as I mentioned before, any project manager will need project management documents to help them keep a project on track and make sure that it's coming in the agreed work package. So the first project management document we'll look at is the project status account. The project status account will look at the actual status of the project that you are in and the product that you're using. So this, in this case, will be the website. So in the product status, it will have version control so you can see if there's been any iterations or any changes that they have been, what has been changed from each stage to the next. This allows the project manager to see if there is any time wasted or if there's anything that's been missed off before that needs to be put into the new version. The product status report is also good for allowing communication between the quality assurance so that they can make sure the quality is up to what is expected, and it will allow obviously as well to understand when the baseline was so you can see where you were supposed to be moving from and when the version control started. Another project document is the risk register. As you can tell from the name, it's about identifying risks, and these risks will be registered in this document. The reason this is important is because you can see that if there's any risk in terms of history of these kind of products, or you can see what's happening in the current one that you're in. The project risk register needs to be kept safe so that it can capture valid information and not be tampered with or changed. So it's very important that anything put in the risk register will also have the author of the risk and a bit of a description as to what the risk is, so that if anyone was to look at it, it'd be easy to understand what the person is talking about. The issue register is very similar to the risk register. It will look at any issues relating to this project or any history in terms of these kind of projects. The issue register is monitored by the project manager, and its status will indicate whether the action is being taken to remedy the issue or if it's just been identified. There are different types of issues that will be recorded in this. So the RFC is the request for change, OS is off spec, and P is problem or concern. These are all regular risk or issue types that need to be monitored or identified. And there will be the checkpoint report. The checkpoint report is used to report at a frequency defined in the work package, the status of the work package at the stage or by the project manager. The checkpoint report is constructed from work packages, team plans, and previous checkpoint reports from other projects or other stages. It will include follow-ups from the previous periods. It will also include current reporting, so how the actual project is going now, and it will have actions for later periods in terms of to come up in the project. The report will report on how the work packages are being completed and make sure that there are intolerances, and it's basically to ensure that they're not going outside the agreed scope, the cost or the time that is expected of this project.
Within the next few slides, we shall take you through the need for good contract practice. What is a contract? Contract is an agreement, written or spoken, or valid document between two or more parties, which involves a promise to perform a task and in return for an expected benefit called consideration. Contracts have legal effect and must contain the following features: a clear intention to carry out a project, an offer and acceptance, legal capability to accept, and time frame. Types of contracts. For this project, we consider three types of contract: fixed price or lump sum contract, which favors the buyer; cost reimbursable contract, which favors the seller; time and material contract, which favors both buyer and seller. For this project, Coventry Alumni Consultancy, CAC, will be delivering the project for ABC Company using the fixed price contract type. This is because ABC Company prefers it due to its low risk impact on them. Hence, CAC has been in the business for 15 years, therefore has wealth of experience in web development and is aware of all the requirements for delivering such projects through lessons learned from previous projects. Why do we need a good contract? To secure the project with a well-documented structure, to protect the parties, both parties, confidential and privacy issues, to eliminate disagreements and disputes, to define roles and responsibilities, to compel both parties to adhere to their duties. Good practice contract management framework. For this contract, we shall be using this contract management framework to run the project. This framework will be applied after the contract has been awarded to Coventry Alumni Consultancy. The aim is to guide the operational activities of the contract through the project lifecycle. The contract management framework will help us throughout the planning and delivering of project outputs. The framework, as we can see from the diagram, has 4 blocks and 11 areas that covers the key activities to be managed in order to deliver a successful project. The 4 blocks are structure and resources, delivery, development, and strategy. The need for good contracts practice. Increasing complexity of contract disputes and failures have necessitated strict adherence to good contract practice. More so, the growing era of digitalization has led to the increasing adoption of automated structural contractual processes that helps in monitoring compliance through its analytic capabilities. Risk assessment. Risk assessment is a process of evaluating and categorizing risk potential tendency and the impact on a project with the corresponding mitigation measures to counter risks. The risk assessment matrix for Coventry Alumni Consultancy. For this project, we have the risk ID, the risk type, risk factor, probability, impact, and control mechanism. For financial risk type, we looked at payment due late minute project changes. That's on the payment due late changes. Partners unable to meet deliverables due financial crisis. Project budget overspend. The probability is low, the impact is high. The control mechanism we've put in place is consistent meetings with project team with well-documented minutes, follow up on all types of payments, monthly financial reports, and then monitoring expenses. And then below we have the risk register. The risk register will be used to identify, assess, and manage risks down to the acceptable levels through a review and updating processes. And this will be done consistently to ensure that the project and the contract is followed.
So we move to the last point, which is change management. The definition of change management is managing the process of implementing major changes in information technology, business processes, organizational structure, and job assignment to reduce the risks and cost of change and optimize its benefits. Change management is aimed at anyone who begins to understand why change happens, how change happens, and what needs to be done to make change a more welcoming concepts. In this business case, we involve in 3 areas, which are integrating the technical, contractual, and human resource. The analysis of the state of the organization in integrating the technical is about how they manage the customers. The customer can place their orders to official email and phone calls, and the new customer don't have opportunity to make phone calls or emails to place their orders. And the nature of change is about the trends of the technologies. Nowadays, technology is one of the most important factors to drive the business. And the trends now is about the online shopping site. So the company needs to adapt itself to follow the trends. It impacts on perception, morals, and needs of the workforce. The change of sales platform will affect the employees' perception in the positive way because it improves the company's performance. And this change needs for the workplace because it will be easier to communicate with the customers, also make customers more satisfied with the online shopping site. And we will move to the second point, which is contractual, and analysis of the state of the organizations. The company may need to find the right person to do the right job to deliver the product. Also need to write the new contract for the staff because the company has changed their tasks. The company will understand about the responsibilities and also the performance criteria is understood and aligning the performance with the contract agreements. The nature of change. Change in contractual in the project manager need to understand in both technical staff and clients the impact on the perceptions, moral, and needs of the workforce in contractual. The communication is very important for the change of contract because it is one of the clarified documents for both staff and companies, also the client and the company. And we will move to the last point, which is human resource elements. The companies and clients are agreed to go with the alternative D, which is design and develop B2C sales platform using Coventry University alumni, consultancy firms. And for the nature of change in human resource, there are the nature of people when they're facing change. For example, surprise, shock, resistance, open rejection, and etc. The organization can use a CAR model to make change success. It consists of awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement, and its impact on the perception, moral, and needs for the workforce. In human resource, change make employees feel uncertain in their position, and they will concern about their well-being and job security. The employee also may lose their loyalty toward the company.